pretty much go, yeah, we're all here. Let's see what happens.
That'll do. Sounds good.
In fact, we were just saying it's normally Daz that takes us off topic. So it'd be nice.
So I reckon we'll be done by 9. Yeah.
That was a very good music zone on Friday, by the way. I enjoyed that.
What was it? I can't remember.
1986.
Oh, yeah. Well, notoriously one of the shittest years for music, and therefore finding some good stuff to play was a bit tricky.
There was a lot of chaff, don't get me wrong, but it was worth it for the wheat.
Oh, yeah, there were some good ones in there. Yeah, but you got to bear in mind the number ones that year is stuff like Nick Berry, the Chicken song. It's one of the worst years. Yeah, it's really bad. I think it might be the worst year for music. Lady in Red, of course.
Oh God.
So Daz isn't here. So I'm Greg and there's Edgy. So who the fuck are you, other person? What?
I'm Dave. I'm part of the fantasy league. Been watching and playing American football for a while.
You play it as well?
Yeah. Well, I used to. Well, I'm a bit old now, but yeah, I did play. Coach a bit now.
You're good enough. You're young enough.
All right. So we've actually got a fourth person here today. So who the fuck are you?
Well, I am the son of the third member who's gone on holiday and abandoned all. I try and give some little bit of knowledge, even though I'm doing terrible in fantasy football. I'm like nearly rock bottom, but we'll.
Don't worry about that. I mean, that means nothing. Fantasy football means
only just above. Yeah,
it's meaningless.
Yeah, if I'm getting beat off Harry, it's not looking good.
No, you didn't, did you?
No, I didn't get beat, but I think he's nearly got more points than me, and I think it's not good.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about that this early in the season. It's all about getting into the postseason. Once you're in there, anything can happen. You can end up with a freak winner like last year.
Yeah.
And what a fucking freak he is.
Yeah.
Review of last week's games.
So last week started with the Aaron Rodgers show in New York, the Patriots getting a walloping by the Jets. He was really good, wasn't he? Aaron Jones. We'll come on to Aaron Jones. Aaron Rodgers, he was really good, wasn't he?
I thought he was back to his best. See, back in his groove. Just goes to show that when you've got that skill and that expertise at the as a quarterback, then makes a hell of a difference. I think there was a stat in the game which I really liked. So the Jets they had 6 first downs in their first 2 drives of the game on Thursday, whereas last year they had 6 first downs in 2 of 208 drives. So I think that goes to show that's
although there is a slight difference between their team this year and last year, and that's having a quarterback. I think
exactly. Yes. Yeah. It goes to show the difference.
So the one thing that impressed me was just the variety of Rodgers' throws. There's nothing wrong with his arm. I think everyone was concerned about his ankle or whether that would impact him. There's no sign of that affecting him. The fact he was just dropping straight back and bang, bang, bang. The passing was just so accurate. He's such a brilliant passer.
Yeah, I thought his legs looked quite good as well. When he needed to, he got outside the pocket and he looked like Aaron Rodgers of 10 years ago. He was sort of getting out the pocket, throwing a little bit.
Yeah, I think question marks got to be asked over the Pats if you're giving Aaron Rodgers the opportunity to get a first down on his
on his
feet. You go, really?
On his broken ankle.
Well, yeah, but he wasn't exactly shifting, was he?
No, but the field is better at Foxborough than MetLife Stadium. That might be it. Definitely plays a part in it.
It was at MetLife, though, wasn't it?
I thought it was at. Hold on. Well, just ignore exactly what I said then. I just thought it was the other way around.
Expert guest.
I got it right. I was looking at the fixtures, and normally the way that Americans do it is the home team's on the right, but this was the other way around.
Why do they do it the other way around? And have the home team last?
Because they say at.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the most stupid thing ever.
Just can't, do it
Simplify
common
things.
sense. Well, is it simplifying?
But we only find it weird because we don't do that.
Yeah, but surely, we
90%
had
of the world.
We had the established sport fixtures. Football, association football predates NFL.
Yeah.
But Americans need words to describe things.
Very true.
So you can't just assume that people will know that the team on the left or the top is the home team, because you can't say home and then that. You have to say Patriots at Jets.
Yeah. The same with the way they write months and days and years.
Well, that's just fucking weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'll give them team A at team B, but there's no day, month, year, they're incremental. It makes perfect sense.
I know, yeah.
We're all here because we love American football, but what's better than that is slagging off their incorrect use of dates. That's a better way of doing it. Right, and let's never get started on fucking Fahrenheit. We'll be here all night. Right? Remember we were talking ages ago, we were talking about the New York Jets.
Yeah, and also just before that, how we were saying that this would be a lot faster because Daz isn't here to take us off topic.
Yeah, although I can't remember. I think it was actually Strasner who took us off topic there.
Hey, it's not my fault. I can get us back on topic with the Jets and Patriots.
Yeah, go for
it. With an interesting stat.
Yeah,
go for it.
The Jets outgained the Patriots by 261 yards.
Fucking hell.
That felt just like the first half, though.
The whole thing.
Yeah, because they was down till second half. They went, yeah, that'll do. The Patriots team aren't gonna score 21.
Yeah, there's no point risking anything, so we'll just win.
The Patriots had obviously increasingly less impressive looking win first week. They're not very good, are they, Patriots?
I just thought it was a bit strange because I thought last week I thought their O-line was terrible, but Antonio Gibson was just, I thought, putting a really lifetime performance with what the line was giving him. And then this week,
only a lifetime performance because he spent most of that lifetime at fucking Washington.
Yeah, we can ignore that part. But then this for the first, I only managed to watch the first half, but they seem to just not give Antonio Gibson the ball at all until I don't know when. They've only given 5 carries, and I just don't understand the point of not giving Antonio Gibson the ball.
Well, Jets have got a good D line though, right? So they'll just stuff up the box, and the runs won't be good, will they?
Edgy. First 2 weeks you tipped the Giants to win, didn't you?
I did.
And then third week you didn't. How did the Giants get on at the Browns?
I can't believe that I didn't predict them this week.
None of us did.
No, and understandably so. And I think this was the week you had Dan Jones being benched, but relatively good game, quite safe. Wasn't outstanding, but in terms of how he'd been in the first couple of games, it was worlds apart. I thought they got off to a cracking start because I think within about 6 seconds they'd recovered a fumble and.
But the kickoff return was fumbled, and then they scored on the Browns scored on the first actual play from scrimmage.
Yeah.
So but, it wasn't the best time, but the Browns have looked shit so far.
Yeah. They're considering they're supposed to be sort of one of the best defensive teams. Not seen evidence of that.
Yeah, the Giants. We've got to give the Giants some credit because that win has come out of nowhere based on their first 2 games, where they somehow managed to look worse than Washington when Washington were really bad, and I think it was down to them getting Neighbors involved more because he seems to have that Justin Jefferson thing of just throw the ball in the vicinity of him and he's going to get it. Yeah. He seems to have that ability.
He was fantastic, wasn't he?
He's just. I think before, obviously, the Jaden Daniels part, he looked by far the best rookie. I think coming out. I think most standout performance. I think for the last 2 games coming over, I think most rookies have looked pretty poor, to be honest.
Give a mention to Marvin Harrison.
Yeah.
But he just looks he just looks a superstar already, to be honest. There's Malik Neighbors.
Yeah, he's got. I mean, I still stand by what I said about him week 1, which is he's at the wrong team. But occasionally he's going to have games like this just because he's got the raw talent to do it.
Yeah, I think they've changed up now. I think they've just based their whole playbook on getting the ball to elite neighbours just any way possible. I think in first game they were looking for his like, 'cause LSU was running outside the numbers, deep routes a lot. I think now they just get him the ball anywhere possible and let him do what he wants to do. I think is their winning formula now.
It's one of those who's going to pad the stats of the quarterback as well. I think because he's going to catch passes that other wide receivers wouldn't get near. He's just got that extra reach and that extra leap in him that other players haven't got. So I think he's going to be really good. I can see him being Justin Jefferson-esque. But from one massive draft pick to another, Bears at Colts. Williams isn't having a good time, is he?
He got 363 yards.
Yeah, he had a much better game.
Yeah, but he had a better game, but he still looks very erratic. He kind of looks panicky. Whenever I watch him, he looks like he's panicking. I mean, I would be as well, but I'm not a number one draft pick.
I'd say this last game, the one against the Colts, he looked more settled than I've seen him. And, is it a case that it's his third game? You've got to get used to the razzmatazz, as it were. He's obviously talented. How many yards did he go for? About 300?
360. Yeah, however...
Top 52 attempts.
Yes, he did. But he got a 50-yard Hail Mary with 0 seconds left.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. So,
at half.
On the 1 yard line, didn't they?
Yeah, 1 yard line. So it doesn't mean anything.
But also, but he did. There were signs that he's starting to link up with Adunze, which
he dropped in another league.
It's promising at least for the Bears.
Yeah, I think it's just he's got that like he wants to do too much. So I think as soon as he kills that a bit, instead of just trying to do some crazy play, just throwing the ball out of bounds and stop stupid interceptions, he could be a lot better. But also the Bears need to not make him throw 52 times in a game.
Yeah, that's excessive, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's the problem though. So if they're going to constantly be in a position where they're down at half time and they have to start passing, that's what they're going to have to do. They need to actually get him in a position where they can run the offense a lot more.
Yeah, their run game's shocking. Like, what is it? DeAndre Swift, he ran 13 times for 20 yards. It's just,
yeah.
It's
I thought that was a good signing when they got him as well.
Yeah,
it was good, but he's not even old. He's only 25.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I mean. He should be good. Their offense should be a lot better than it is. Their red zone offense, I think, is one of the worst in the whole league. Edgy, your Texans. What the fuck happened there?
Well, it's kind of a week for these sort of strange results. Obviously, Houston has one of my official teams.
One of them, yeah.
One of them.
Did they lose to the Vikings? Are the Vikings another one who?
I was just going to say, I'm now adding them in because I really like the way they go about things. Obviously Houston had a real off night. What was the score? 34-7, I think it was.
Yeah, 34-7.
And Texas just had nothing, which given the side they've got, it's surprising. But Minnesota just go about the business, don't they?
They're good fun to watch, and it's the worst I've seen Stroud play.
Yeah,
but Aaron Jones, as I said earlier, well, I wasn't meaning to talk about Aaron Jones. He's got a new lease of life there, hasn't he, since leaving the Packers?
Yeah, he's a monster, that guy.
I don't think he even wanted to go. I think the Packers went, they fucked him off a bit. And so he's got that thing where he has wanted to stay in the same division so he gets to play the Packers twice. So I do like that when players do that. So,
and then obviously if Sam Darnold keeps playing like this, they're probably up there with probably one of the best, if not the best teams so far this year.
That's the big question, isn't it? It's the big question is, can Sam Darnold keep playing like this?
Yeah.
He can't keep it up.
I don't know. When's he had an opportunity in a good team before?
Well, never. But
that's just, admittedly, a lot of the reasons for them not being a good team was Sam Darnold was the quarterback.
He wasn't very good.
He's got the surroundings now, hasn't he?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and his stat lines is very efficient. I think he got 181 yards, 4 touchdowns.
So I was just going to say, I was talking about the Bears being one of the worst red zone offenses. I think the Vikings are the best. So, think about Sam Darnold as well. His confidence will have taken a battering over the last few years. From being the quarterback who wins every game at college to suddenly being in shit team and struggling, his confidence takes a battering. All of a sudden, he goes to a good team, wins a few games, gets his confidence back.
Yeah.
Who knows? We may see how good he really is.
The Vikings scoring plays were a 6-yard throw, an 8-yard throw, a 4-yard throw, and a 2-yard throw.
I'd love the Steelers to be doing that sort of thing rather than just fucking kicking field goals every time. One team who went into this weekend as the I think the highest score in the NFL were the Saints, but they had a kind of quite a defensive struggle against the Eagles. Eagles taking it 15-12. It was a shit game to watch, wasn't it? That one. That was a shit on a stick sort of game. Derek Carr stopped. He went back to Derek Carr, didn't he? We wondered how long it would be. It turns out we didn't have that long to wait.
There were a couple of opportunities for Shaheed, who's normally been the go-to guy for the big pass. And there were a couple where, 40, 50 yards into the end zone and Shaheed has dropped it. They come off and it's a very different game. So, maybe it's just the rub of the green. Sometimes you win them, sometimes you don't.
Yeah, I feel like the Eagles should have won this game by a lot, to be honest. I feel like they shot themselves in the foot going on these fourth downs, and they just they seem to drive really easily and then just do some big. Hurts would throw an interception, or they would go for it on fourth down and lose it, and then sort of just have to restart again. I feel like Eagles with a way better team. They just seem to shoot themselves in the foot any way they could, really.
Yeah, I could see what happened the week before against the Falcons happening again because they were so wasteful. I mean, the Eagles have gone a 2-1, but they should be 3-0, and the fact they're not is down to them being wasteful more than anything.
Yeah.
Big mention to Dallas Goedert, 170 yards.
Yeah, who saw that? Although I think about 70 of those were on one play on fourth down. It was when they got their final TD, take the lead, and for some reason I've never seen any offensive player get as much space on a pitch as he did there. And he's hardly the quickest.
No,
we're talking closer to Aaron Rodgers' speed than Aaron Jones' speed here. So for him to end up in that amount of space to do a 70-yard run is just fucking astonishing. But still good numbers regardless. Anyway, enough of these shit on stick games. Let's talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers against the Chargers.
Sorry, do you mean the 3-0 Pittsburgh Steelers?
I think you'll find, at the time that game finished, we were the first 3-0 team in the NFL. So at that point, in the power rankings, we were there at the top. Then other games finished, and everyone went, "Oh yeah, they've got no offense." But yeah, this was a tough game. This was always going to be a tough game against the Chargers. But I was really impressed with Justin Fields in this game. Just like the way he's managing it, I think he went 25 from 32. Actually threw a touchdown. He ran in for a touchdown. Got his first pick of the season, which was an unlucky tipped one. But he's been very assured. And obviously, on top of all that, he's got the ability to run, but he didn't need to this week. He had 6 rushing yards, which were for that touchdown he went in for.
Just trying to work out the roadmap as to what it has to take for the Orb to get, to be the starting quarterback.
He got mentioned on the commentary when Herbert came off. The backup, can't remember who the backup is.
Tell Heineke.
That's it, Heineke. Heineke came in, and then immediately he got flattened. And so they went, well, Easton Sticks. And I went, hey, he'll come on and orb his way back into the game for the Chargers. But sadly, it turned out Heineke was still breathing, and so
Damn it.
he was allowed
was-
to continue. I love the idea of of teams now having 3 quarterbacks, and we were in with a shout of injuring all of them.
So 3-0. So Pittsburgh, Super Bowl winners.
No.
Next think
question.
about that.
No, we're nowhere near that. No team has ever won the Super Bowl with fuck all on offense. We'll make the odd play, and there'll be the odd game where it goes well, but you can't be consistently bad on offense and expect to even go deep into the playoffs. Another game none of us saw coming. We were here this time last week talking about how impressive the Buccaneers have been. They got battered at home by the Broncos and Bo Nix.
Yeah, he actually.
Where did this come from?
I don't know. Like I say, there was a couple of results like this that just sort of came from nowhere. But like you said, we've on previous episodes we've been praising Tampa for their consistency and whatnot, and then they were just consistently wank all day.
Yeah, they're meant to be known for like the blitzing and stuff. They just seem to like Bornix of all time in the world, and they just carve them up.
I thought he gave glimpses of what he can do.
Do you reckon they just underestimated them? And I thought this is going to be easy. Because everything in the first 2 weeks suggested the Broncos weren't going to cause them or anyone else any trouble.
I think the Bucs were a bit overrated coming into it. I thought they were a bit suspect. I didn't think they were a very good 2-0 team. But
I don't know. They beat the Lions.
They beat the Lions. I mean,
but I think the Lions they just wanted to lose. I think that game. I think they went and chose to lose on purpose.
What about week 1?
Oh yeah, well.
Should we move on?
I can't remember that
kicking
far
away
back.
blind man's stick week 1, wasn't it?
Yeah. I think it's just a really bad week this week for the Bucs. To be honest, I think they're definitely not this bad. I think they're like a 500 team, like a 9-8, whatever that sort of team is. They're definitely better than what they showed.
For the 3rd week in a row, the Titans were in a game with a chance of winning, and then Will Levis fucked up and it all went terribly, and they lost.
He is shocking, isn't he?
Well, he has a weird mixture of doing some brilliant plays and then some really dumb plays, and he'll often do them one after another.
Yeah.
So I think there's a good player in Will Levis. It's far too erratic at the moment. But
it doesn't help
Packers,
when it doesn't help with your running backs rush in total for 33 yards.
Oof.
Yeah, there's issues at the Titans, but it also doesn't help if your quarterback can't hand the ball off to them without it going on the floor first. Packers without J-Love doing all right, and he could be back this week.
Yeah, that's an interesting question because I don't think what's the dude's name?
Malik Willis.
Malik Willis.
He did great.
He's not done anything wrong, has he?
No, he's fine. Perfectly acceptable quarterback play. 200 yards and a touchdown.
Is it enough?
Yeah, he's good, and he was good. He was good the week before as well. The reason I think J-Love will come back this week is that it's the Vikings, so it's a divisional match against a hot team. If there's any possibility of J-Love playing, he'll play.
Yeah, I agree.
So if it had been Titans this week, I think they'd have given him another week to recover. Remember last week when we were all saying how shit the Panthers are and that they're not going to win a game all season?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So Panthers walloped the Raiders 36-22.
And it sparks the question, was it Bryce that was the problem?
I think it was by the end, but
Yeah.
I think that's because his confidence was fucked by the time that they actually benched him. I think the damage was done with him last year. So
one of my favourite combinations of the whole weekend was Dalton to Tommy Tremble. Tommy Tremble, I'm here all night.
No, I thought Dalton to Adam Thielen, combined age of 106.
Yeah, he got.
I think that was the way to do it. But yeah, Dalton was really good, but the Raiders were atrocious.
given the fact that they'd had fairly good defensive showings in 1 and 2, Baltimore and the Chargers.
Second half against Baltimore, they were fantastic. I think they kept them to, was it 3 points in the second half?
In the whole half, yeah. So yeah, that just sort of compounds things, and obviously because we've all slated the Panthers to barely win a match, and then it just came out of the blocks flying.
Well, it wasn't just that they won; it's how they won.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't like a scrappy game where they nicked it by a field goal. They blew the Raiders away.
Yeah.
Another team who recently changed their quarterback, although they probably didn't want to. Miami Dolphins look terrible, don't they?
Yeah.
Good.
They're now new favourites for me to be least wins on the year, because they were just absolutely shocking. Tyreek Hill and A-Chan must be shitting themselves because they're not going to get their bonuses this year.
No. Well, A-Chan might, because they're going to be handing the ball off to him a hell of a lot.
Well,
but yeah, they had issues on defense anyway. The Dolphins, their Kevin Keegan approach to games was always going to come back to bite them. I think when as soon as Tua was out, it's going to be a long, hard season for the Dolphins. I think, and Seahawks, as we were saying last week, they're a good, solid team.
I think Seahawks very similar to like a Steelers sort of team. If you come in and have a bad day, you'll get beat. But if you come in and play sort of slightly above average, you'll beat them.
I like the new coach for Seahawks. I mean, they've had to replace old Piss Pants Pete, haven't they? And they've gone the opposite by having someone who's very dry downstairs. So he's, but yeah, he's rookie head coach. Seems to trust Geno Smith.
Well, like everything they're doing at Seattle, they just seem to just purr along. They're unbeaten, aren't they, as well? Are they
3-0? 3-0, yeah. They'll be wild card team, and then they'll get beat in the wild card round.
I think I had them just missing out, but I think I've got them like with a winning record.
Contribution from Daz in Italy. Finns need to bring in a QB if they want anything this season. But seeing Bills playing well and Jets already conceded the season, Finns. He types almost as well as he speaks.
I mean,
give me a minute. I'm trying.
Hang on a second. There is some punctuation in there, but it just seems to be in the wrong place.
Yeah.
I reckon what he's done there is he's put it into initially as English. He's used Google Translate into Italian, and then he's changed it then back into English, and that's why it doesn't actually make any sense. Lions at Cardinals. Lions needed to win this and did. They still aren't clicking, though. I don't think the Lions this year.
Defensively, they were a lot better. I think they had the best play of the weekend. The little hook and ladder, the little throwback to Mark Gibbs. Yeah, that was quite a nice play. But no, I don't really think Cardinals were at their best either. I just thought it was just a good defensive game. This, but like you said, yeah, they don't seem to be fully clicking yet.
The Cards is one of my unofficial teams of the
fuck's sake. He essentially supports everyone but the Steelers and the Commanders.
and the Cowboys, obviously.
Oh, it goes without saying, no one supports them.
Exactly. Yeah, because they had such a superb offensive display the week before. It was strange to see them not fired. I think that possibly could be a story of the season, just the inconsistency killing them. But yeah, I thought that the Lions deserve the win.
Yeah. The week before, the Cardinals they battered quite a weak Rams defense.
Yes.
The Rams defense is their Achilles heel, I think, not including all the injuries, obviously, but you're trying to replace an irreplaceable guy on defense, and particularly early in the season, there's going to be teams who take advantage of that. Yeah, I do love that 1-2 punch running back they've got, which is
I think that's the best in the league.
Brilliant. They're just pounding teams. I suppose we need to talk about the disgusting, evil Cowboys. who lost a game at home.
Oh no.
Third time in a row that they lost it. Apparently, they used to be unbeatable in their own stadium, but that's 3 games in a row they've lost at home now. And worst of all, they lost to the Baltimore Ravens, who are almost as evil.
It was a tough game for you to call, really, wasn't it, Greggles?
Not really.
Well, no, obviously.
So there's definitely a tiered system where it's I hate these more than I hate these, and I hate the second ones quite a lot.
Is it a case that the Cowboys have been totally found out? Just run against them and they can't stop you? Because that's what it seems like.
I think they're a bit. Yeah, I think they're a bit bad to be honest. Even I think this scoreline's deceiving as well. I think the Ravens.
Yeah, it's two late scores for the Cowboys.
Yeah, I think they need to be, because Lamar wasn't happy afterwards. I think he did an interview and he was like, he basically just wanted. They were playing really cautious after they got really high up, really high score, and he just wants to keep playing how you play. I hate when teams do this and they go and play like really soft defense and they go 3 and out because they just run the ball 3 times. And I think if Ravens just carried on playing how they were doing, this game would have been nowhere near.
Yeah, and but the Ravens have got previous for it. Do you know the Ravens of, I think last week when they lost to the Raiders, that was their 10th game where they've led by double figures in the fourth quarter and lost in this century or something like that. No other team has done it more than 6 times.
Is it because they're not very good?
I think the Ravens are good. It's just
it's got to be some kind of psychological thing, isn't it? If it's happening that often to the same team.
I think it's the coaching more than anything else. They're just playing really conservative.
And it's the same coach. It's the same. It's all been done under him. So it's one of those things where you go, is it him? Does he pass something on to his team that makes them be unable to cross the line?
Brian has predicted rather confidently here, Cowboys will finish 10-7 at worst.
But that's changed quite a lot from the Cowboys will win the Super Bowl at the start of the season.
And of course, a really difficult matchup this week against the Giants.
Who's that difficult for?
Dallas.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, I thought you meant it was difficult.
They need that win. They have a really hard run of fixtures after that because it goes like Steelers into Lions, into 49ers, into the Falcons, into the Eagles, into the Texans.
Steelers against Cowboys 2 weeks' time, isn't it?
Yeah. So I think if they don't get this Giants win, they're not. It's not looking. They should beat the Giants. The Giants are terrible, but if they don't win that, then their season they're looking doomed.
I mean, and no one wants to say that after week 4. No one wants to say the Cowboys season is over after week 4. Ideally, we'd like to say it pre-season, but
no, I think the Cowboys are missing out on like people like Dan Quinn going, especially like you said, Matt McCarthy's not very good, and Dan Quinn going on their defense. I think that is quite a big loss for them.
Yeah, the defense is just Swiss cheese at the minute. It's fucking every team with a decent offense is looking forward to padding their stats against the Cowboys defense.
Yeah, they don't seem to really have an identity. Like last year, it was very much getting at the quarterback and then forcing turnovers from that. They seem to have lost that as well. So yeah, I think it's going to be a struggling year, I think, for the Cowboys.
And that's tragic. 49ers at Rams. 49ers blew this, but fair play to the Rams taking advantage.
You say blue. I say the Rams game plan worked. You got to go down and then score 13 points in the fourth quarter to win by 3.
Yeah. Does that game plan include Trent Williams getting injured?
You know what? It doesn't hurt. It hurt him.
To be fair,
I watched that in real time. The game changed there and then.
It does. He's very good. No, it's just Stafford just knows exactly what he's doing in those situations, and despite having no one notable to throw to apart from Tutu Atwell, who also attempted a pass,
Very cheeky.
He got the job done. Helped out by Kyron Williams getting 2 touchdowns.
He was immense, wasn't he?
Front flipping into the end zone, one of them. It was brilliant.
Yeah.
Great game.
The 49ers have got injury problems, but so are the Rams. And
the Rams are worse.
Yeah. Well, arguably.
Apart from
worse,
CMC, but I mean, if CMC was there...
I'd say the players that the Rams are without are their equivalent of the players who the 49ers are missing. So it's you can't just say, oh, the 49ers lost because they had too many injuries. I think they possibly lost due to one specific injury. But either way, the Rams had to come back from 2 touchdowns behind to turn that game round without loads of their best offensive options. And they did it. That's an amazing spirit they've got there, which you don't see at places like Dallas.
With that injury to Trent Williams, 49ers obviously in the last season and a half or almost have been known as just having these real bad injuries. Is this just dumb luck, or is it something from their training schedules that's causing it? Can't just be happening to them, surely.
I think in terms of a team consistently losing their star players, I don't recall a team being hit season after season by these injuries as what's happened. I think this is the 3rd year in a row this has happened at the 49ers.
It's almost laughable, isn't it? Like you said about the game plan. Well, I think whenever you're facing the 49ers, it's feasible to put it in the game plan that one of them is going to get injured.
Yeah. And I think that their roster is so strong that they can handle losing a couple of them. But when you lose that many at the same time, it would impact any team. But I think the biggest one out of all of them is losing Trent Williams, for whom there is no replacement. So Jennings, who came in, had a brilliant game for Debo. Mason's been doing brilliant in place of McCaffrey. But you can't bring in anyone to replace Trent Williams. First snap after he went off injured, I think there was it a sack?
It was
possibly a strip sack. Yeah. Falcons, they gave it a good go against the Chiefs.
Yeah.
But ultimately, the Chiefs won again. 3 games, 3 wins. No impressive performances, I think, so far for the Chiefs.
Very ordinary, but again, like we always say, if you're not playing your best football and you're winning games, that's the key to winning titles, isn't it?
How close are they to being 0-3? They've had obviously the very close touchdown overturned, and then they've had 2, let's say, contentious decisions go in their favour. One a PI call, and one a PI non-call. They're
not.
It's a fine
they're
line,
not as good as they were. They've won their games by 7 points, 1 point, and 5 points. These aren't blowouts. They're just scraping over the line. They're not as good as they were.
It's the fact they're 1-score games, but also there's been a play where it's gone in their favour, where it could easily have gone the other way. And so it's even closer than a 1-score game.
Yeah.
It's a one decision game.
Travis Kelce has got 69 yards all season in 3 games. What's happened?
I think last week he was unlucky. I think he had a few good catches, but they were flags on the play. But the other 2 games, I don't know, it's not really getting targeted.
I think it's a conscious decision from Mahomes. I think they're looking at that Kelsey's in decline, as he's going to be once you hit a certain age. He's got new wide receivers, and he wants to look at them and see if he can get a kind of rapport with them. Jags at Bills.
Well, obviously, the Jaguars is one of my official teams. By picking Jaguars, you can at least see I'm not glory hunting, because they I won't say surprised me, but they've got nothing on offense, nothing on defense. Can't run, can't pass. It'll be a long season.
One of my preseason predictions I won't be changing is that I said the Jags were going to be shit, and so far so good on that one.
Yeah.
I said they've finished bottom of their division. I think they were second favourites for their division, but I saw the decline last year, and I thought I can't see them being better than they were second half of last season. So I've stuck with them, but they were
Awful.
that was so. I only watched the first half live. I watched the rest of it this morning because I thought, well, this game's over. It was essentially over in the first quarter, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I definitely bought it in the second. It was 13 nothing down at the second. First quarter, at the half, it was 34-3.
It's something as well that we mentioned last week, that him not having an obvious number one receiver means that he is mixing it up with the weapons he does have. One guy I mentioned at the start of the season, Keon Coleman, who got his first touchdown. Yeah, I don't think any of us were who were writing the Bills off were writing them off because of Josh Allen. Well, I think two of us weren't anyway. One might
I
have
was.
been. But I think we thought that maybe it would be the lack of offensive weapons that would cost them.
I think I had an hour-long argument with my dad before the season started about Josh Allen, and yeah, it didn't. It was like a full hour. He was saying he was mediocre. I think I need to place it out here into this to call him a fraud.
That's why we forced him to go to Italy.
Yeah. It's in
see if they can understand what the fuck he's going on about.
Yeah.
Can't wait to hear his Italian accent next week.
Oh God. More editing. Yeah, Callum, you get
rubbing the hands.
Something your old man can't do. You can gloat about a Commander's win and impressive performance.
Yeah, I think he'll be quite upset he's not here tonight, actually, to talk about this game.
Well, weirdly, we're fine with it.
Yeah,
we insist.
But Commanders, I think now we've got. I think from the Bucks game, well, the last drive was obviously garbage time, but I think we're now 14 drives in a row without punting, like scoring on 14 drives in a row. We haven't punted in 2 games now. Jaden Daniel just looks like probably going to be rookie of the year because quarterbacks just get it as well.
He definitely stepped up last night. That's for sure.
Massive, because I think the big detriment to Daniels was he wasn't finding any deep balls. There was always someone open, and he would just run first. A bit of pressure, he would always just run. And I think in the first quarter, he missed 2 open. I think Terry McLaurin was free once, and I think Ben Sinnott was open down the middle. But after the first quarter, he was just hitting everything, playing amazing, really. That last throw to Terry McLaurin to win the game, it's just
your dad really said last week that he was disappointed in McLaurin and needed a big game, and that's exactly what he gave him. It was a great catch in the corner.
Because I think I was seeing some terrible, like some stats. Apparently, it was like the lowest percentage pass touchdown or something like that in the what should have been completed in the whole week or something like that. It was like they had a 10% chance to coming off. I don't know what that really means, but yeah. There
was a good stat I picked up from it. It's the first game in 84 years that had 0 punts or turnovers. That's quite surprising, considering.
So that's the worst defensive performance.
Oh yeah, both. I think it's the worst defense for the second worst defense. Yeah. Washington. We're not going to. It was weird because at the start of the season, I thought our defense would carry and our offense would sort of be just let Jaden Daniels find his feet, but now it's just our offense needs to score 30 plus every week to have a chance. If we don't score 30 plus, we'd have no chance.
He was sliding. That's the big difference.
Yeah, there was one slide, a proper slide, which is solid. Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't because all I was doing those first couple of weeks was going, this bloke's going to be injured. Unless he starts sliding, he's going to be injured. And it's good that he listened.
To you? Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
I said it and he started doing it.
I thought I heard him on
other reason for it.
On the post-game podcast. I thought I heard him say, thanks to quarterback sacking crack, they saved my career.
Obviously downloads it.
He might be the one person in DC who downloads it.
Random Rookie Roulette. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. Random Rookie Roulette. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. Random rookie roulette.
Okay, so shall we have a brief discussion on our rookies? Because they're not, one of them isn't really getting involved as much as we'd like.
Are we talking about mine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the only notable thing he's done is be shot.
Yes. So this week again, he was at the game. He went out for dinner with his wife. Didn't tell me what he had to eat or whether he tipped or not, or whether he liked it.
I had spaghetti bolognese, but that was just a rumor.
That's nice.
Was that during the game?
After the
No,
game?
he had some nachos during the game.
And there were some lovely pictures of him carrying a suitcase on his Instagram. Perhaps he's going on a little trip. Other than that, not a clue.
Fair enough. At least he's consistent.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right. So
who was Daz following? He's forgotten.
I'll do mine next, Daz, so it gives you a chance to remember who yours is. Mine is, of course, Chop Robinson.
I heard his name.
Yep, he had a tackle and a assisted tackle.
Nice.
There we go.
So I think that's 2 weeks in a row he's done that, whilst the rest of the defense has been obliterated. So he's in for a busy season, I reckon, at the Dolphins.
Well, he's certainly the one who's been again. He won last week out of random rookie roulette stats. I think he's on for another one.
Well, I beg to differ because, as Dazzla knows well, Peyton Wilson played.
Write that down, Daz, for next week.
For the Steelers, one of many attacks on Chargers players, and he had 2 tackles and 1 assisted tackle.
Wait.
One better.
One better, and he's actually 2 better for the season as well. So if we're having a running total, he's had
yes, but
5 tackles in total.
Yeah, but that won't last because the Miami defense will be on the field more.
Yeah, but also they don't appear to be very good, which is
no, but their offense is bad.
Yeah, more chance for tackles.
That's yeah.
Yeah, but you know, Peyton Wilson does play for the Steelers, so I don't know if you're aware just how much time the Steelers defense spends on the field.
Yeah,
it's quite a bit. Yeah, he has played. Does he played every game? So Peyton Wallace. Fuck's sake.
So he wins. He wins this week. Then
this week's winner somehow is Peyton Wallace, who is probably someone who doesn't exist.
Who's beaten somebody with 1.5 tackles and a gunshot wound. Well done.
I'm so glad we introduced this feature.
Yeah.
Just imagine if we're in week 15 and still the only good thing about it is the jingle.
Right, that's us done then. 2 hours and 20 minutes. Look, what can you
fucking flew by without someone interfering and trying to put fucking quizzes in.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the stadium quiz last week.
God, it's quite good if you listen to the actual pod bit. That section just starts with me going, "That quiz isn't going in," and that's.
Well, the whole thing got skipped.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, because it lasted for fucking 20 minutes.
It did seem to keep going. It was funny though.
Although there is news. Did anyone see the picture I posted about the Patreon?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I have created I haven't published it yet, but it's all set up for a Patreon where there is one tier for $1. And there's one person's allowed to go in it.
And
it's the world's shittest Patreon.
I think last I heard, Daz was just trying to get somebody to print the T-shirt for it and see whether they can do it in extra small.
That's what we need, the extra small T-shirt. I mean, Left is already shown interest in becoming the Patreon.
Yeah.
But once it goes live, it's first come, first served. And I can imagine people are just fighting over themselves to become the Patreon. What we do need is ideas for stuff that could be given away, because we don't actually want to spend any of our actual own money on this, because we're going to be taking a hit, because we're only going to be receiving 40p out of that dollar.
Yeah.
We're already, I think it's going to cost me £1 to set it up. So it's going to be running a loss from day one.
You can't even buy a stamp for 40p to send someone anything.
Oh shit!
Yeah, so we've
got a franking machine at work,
but we'll be fine, I think, because only got to send stuff out to one person.
Yeah.
So it could be an orange T-shirt, extra small. It could be a Josh Johnson mug. It could be a pair of pants with Dazzla's face on. We are open to any suggestions of what on earth the world's worst Patreon could give people as a perk. So if you've got any ideas, please contact us at qbscpod@gmail.com. First time I've remembered to say the email address.
Oh,
yeah, it's so much quicker this week. Yeah. I think we might have found a new formula.
Send my dad off to Italy every Tuesday
with the Patreon.
Patreon perk.
qbscpod@gmail.com.
Do you want to see my helmet?
Oh, that'd be lovely, yeah.